19-year-old Sahashi Minato is often facing failures in his college entrance exams. He tells his worried mother about his results on the phone while he walks home. On the way, he hears news on television that a company called MBI is buying a big part of the city's stocks, which makes him curious about the company's wealth. Well, if Minato can't make it to college, maybe he can enroll in the School of Stock Market Secrets with Professor MBI. Even though Minato is disappointed about his exam results, he still hopes to find a girlfriend to accompany him in life. Suddenly, a lively sekire named Musubi falls from the sky right onto him, and she's followed by two other sekire. Minato just barely escaped the situation with the help of Musubi, a lightning-fast sekire. The next day, when he wakes up, he finds Musubi beside him, which makes him feel uncomfortable. He asks her to dress up properly and vacate the room. Minato is puzzled and thinking what to do. Well, Minato, you wanted a girlfriend, and now you've got one who's quite literally fallen for you. But maybe suggest a crash course in Earth customs first. After that, they go out where they introduce themselves to each other, and all of a sudden Musubi collapses. Minato takes her home and takes Musubi to eat some fast food because she's really hungry. Ah, the classic first date, fast food and fainting spells. Romance at its finest. Musubi finishes her meal and thanks Minato for being kind to her. She asks him to be her ashikabi, but he doesn't understand what that means and is about to ask when a knock on the door interrupts them. It's his landlord. He's worried that if the landlord finds out Musubi is in the apartment, he'll kick them out because the apartment rules don't allow women. So Minato goes out and convinces the landlord that he's following the rules. Meanwhile, Musubi has no other place to go, so she decides to stay with Minato even though it goes against the apartment's no-women policy. She talks to Minato about being an ashikabi, which means someone she cares about and wants to help succeed. Then, Musubi asks for more food because she's still hungry, so Minato takes her to a restaurant to feed her. She eats a lot, and Minato can't believe his eyes. Musubi invites him to eat with her, but he says he doesn't have enough money right now. Musubi's appetite is like a bottomless pit. Maybe Minato should consider taking out a loan just to keep up with her dining habits. Musubi suggests that she can cook for him, so Minato asks her to go to the grocery store, and he'll go to the bank to get some money. While Minato is at the bank, he runs into Musubi's pursuers, the twin Sekari and Hibiki. They inquire about Musubi, and just then Musubi shows up. The twins attack her, causing her clothes to tear apart. In a quick move, Minato grabs Musubi and they make a run for it. The twins continue to chase them down a narrow alleyway. Musubi then kisses Minato, and in that moment, he becomes her ashikabi. A special connection forms between them, granting her the strength to confront the twins. They run desperately, and along the way, they encounter another girl named Homura, who is also a sekire. Homura tells them that their efforts are futile and questions why they choose to attack only those sekire who haven't formed any connections. When Minato and Musubi return home, Minato receives a call from his little sister, who taunts him for failing once again. Though embarrassed, he manages to persuade her to send some of her old clothes for Musubi. She asks him questions but eventually agrees to send them. Suddenly, the TV turns on by itself, and a man appears on the screen. Musubi recognizes him as Professor Hiroto, while Minato also remembers him as the president of the massive company MBI. Plot twist. When your TV starts acting like a portal to corporate intrigue, you know you're in for a wild ride. Professor Hiroto explains the sekire plan, a significant competition between different sekire and their ashikabi. He warns Minato to keep this information a secret, emphasizing that there will be serious consequences if he doesn't. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door, and Minato finds a man who represents the MBI company. He hands them a box and then departs. Musubi opens the box and discovers some clothes meant for her. However, just as they were getting comfortable, Minato's landlord finds out that he's living with Musubi and serves him an eviction notice. As Minato searches for a new place to live, he starts feeling really down because he doesn't have enough money for accommodation, and then it starts raining. Feeling disheartened, Minato turns to Musubi and asks her why she believes he should be her ashikabi. Musubi responds by saying that she likes him and then cheers him up with a kiss and takes him to the moon. Well, that escalated quickly. From eviction to an interstellar date on the moon. Minato, you got one heck of a girlfriend there. Minato and Musubi find themselves soaring through the sky near the moon. Musubi admits to Minato that she doesn't know how to land safely, and they're running out of time. This news makes Minato panic, and before they know it, they start descending from the sky and crash land in someone's backyard. Well, who needs a spaceship when you have love and panic-induced crash landings? Suddenly, the owner of the house emerges and questions why they are in her backyard. Minato proceeds to explain everything to her. Minato appears disheveled and hurt from the fall, while Musubi's clothes once again tear apart from the impact. A man from the house then comes forward and offers them assistance. The man assists Minato by applying bandages to his injuries, while the woman dresses Musubi in a lovely kimono. They introduce themselves as Maya, Asama, and Kaguri. Minato apologizes for causing them any trouble, but Maya smiles and reassures him that it's not a problem. Talk about a warm welcome. Crash landing in someone's backyard might just be the best way to make new friends. Maya goes on to mention that the clothes Minato is wearing belong to her husband, leading Minato to briefly consider Kaguri as her husband. However, Kaguri clarifies that he is not her husband. While they enjoy their dinner, a girl named Yuzume joins them, dressed in revealing attire. Minato observes that they don't seem like a traditional family. Curious, Minya clarifies that Kaguri and Yuzume are tenants living in her home. Realizing he has no other place to go due to the eviction, Minato plucks up the courage to request a room for rent. Moved by Minato's situation and perhaps reminded of her husband's kindness, Maya agrees to accommodate him and grants his request for a room. Minato goes back to his old apartment to gather his belongings. While there, he calls his mother and requests some pocket money to help cover his living expenses. His mother scolds him and urges him to return home. However, Minato insists and assures her that he's determined to pass his exams and start a new life in his current situation. Hearing his determination, she agrees to send him half of the amount, but adds that he should earn more if he needs it because he's now a grown-up. Minato is taken aback by her response. Well, Minato, welcome to adulthood, where pocket money is a thing of the past, and you've got to earn your keep. Minato's little sister, Yukari, pleasantly surprises him with some clothes for Musubi. She shares that she'll be attending college in the same city soon, teasing Minato about his aspirations of getting into college. Yukari playfully mocks him when Musubi enters the room. Minato tries to clarify that Musubi is just a friend, but Yukari doesn't believe him. Musubi begins to introduce herself, but Minato interrupts, telling her it's supposed to be a secret. They all then pitch in to tidy up the place. After a short visit, Yukari leaves, taking their bags with her. Minato and Musubi pack their belongings and set off for their new home. Musubi takes charge of carrying all the stuff and takes the opportunity to explain to Minato about sekire prayers, which makes sekire stronger. Upon reaching Maya's home, they hope for a fresh start. Maya warmly welcomes them and gives them a tour of her beautiful yet budget-friendly place. They visit their room, where Maya expresses admiration for Musubi's strength. Musubi shares her sekire level with Maya, who initially takes it as a joke and bursts into laughter. After Maya leaves, Minato asks Musubi not to disclose her identity to anyone. Musubi apologizes and pledges to protect Minato in any situation. Minato, though feeling somewhat uncertain about being protected by a girl, agrees to stay with Musubi as a steadfast companion. It's a pact. Minato's got his guardian angel, or should I say guardian sekire, and they're ready for whatever the world throws at them. In the next scene, Kaguri prepares to leave for work, and Mia reminds him to return home early for dinner. He agrees and heads out. Minato and Musubi watch him go, curious about his work. Maya explains that Kaguri works at a nearby club. Maya then suggests that Musubi take a bath and offers to help prepare food. Musubi agrees. Later, Minato and Musubi find themselves in the bathroom. Musubi playfully suggests that Minato join her in the bath, but he blushingly declines her offer and exits the bathroom. In the end, Musubi and Yuzume take a bath together, and during their conversation, Yuzume reveals her sekire identity to Musubi. Meanwhile, Minato is sitting in the backyard, lost in thought about the incredible incident of surviving a fall from a great height. He absent-mindedly touches the tree where they landed, and suddenly, he undergoes a transformation into a girl. This newly appeared girl asks for Minato's help, leaving him utterly bewildered. As he processes the situation, he remembers that this same girl had appeared to save them when they were falling from the sky. Suddenly, the sound of breaking glass catches Minato's attention, and he witnesses Yuzume falling from a window. Yuzume pleads with Minato to intervene and prevent Musubi from fighting with her, explaining that she only obeys her ashikabi. Musubi, fueled by anger, demands that Yuzume stay away from Minato. Minato attempts to mediate and prevent them from fighting, but Musubi's rage causes her to throw a punch at Yuzume. The situation becomes tense, but Maya steps in to put an end to their conflict. Mia sternly scolds both girls for their inappropriate attire and for causing damage to her property. She issues a warning that they must never fight again within her home. The classic angry landlady trope. Every great story needs one to keep the chaos in check. Meanwhile, a girl is waiting for someone, and Homura suddenly appears before her. She challenges him to a fight, but he disappears using fireball magic and advises her to bring her ashikabi next time they battle. He tells her she needs to find an ashikabi, but she defiantly refuses, stating that she has no intention of finding one. Minato is in a forest, and he spots a girl on a tree. The girl, Kusano, says hi and asks Minato for assistance. Minato assures her it's okay and catches her when she jumps down. Kusano, with tears in her eyes, tells Minato she's in trouble because she acted selfishly. But then, Minato is awakened by Musubi and the dream ends. Episode 03. Kusano is having fun playing with animals when a girl shows up and tells her to return to the labs. They start walking together, and the girl asks if Kusano has found an ashikabi for herself. Kusano says no, but she believes she will find one on her own soon. Out of nowhere, another girl appears with a weapon in her hand. She attacks them, and the girl with Kusano gets hurt. Then, the attacker's ashikabi shows up and tries to kiss Kusano. However, Kusano refuses and instead creates a protective forest around herself. Minato wakes up after a rough night. He looks outside and sees Maya practicing in the yard. Maya is really good at it, which impresses Musubi. Musubi asks Maya if they can practice together. Maya quickly dodges all of Musubi's moves. Minato rushes over to stop them from fighting, but Yuzume stops him. She says that they are both skilled and can handle it. Yuzume shares her identity as Sekire to Minato, and he understands it all. Minato then rushes towards his part-time job. He worked hard as a part-time construction worker. During his lunch break, he kindly shares his food cooked by Mia for him. When he is about to eat, a guy named Seo Koru comes and asks for his food. He shares it with him when a girl appears and kicks the man, asking him to stay away from Minato's food. Minato recognizes her, but his food splits on the floor and he becomes sad. Food drama strikes again. The real question is, what's Minato going to do without his precious meal? She offers him her bread, but he declines. The man introduces himself as Seo Kaoru, and he is ashikabi, as well for the girls he encounters with Musubi. In the next scene, Kuguri is on the phone talking to a girl. She tells him that Kusano has gone into a forest and locked herself in. Hearing this stresses Kuguri out. He says he can't give up on Kusano because he's already gone through a lot to become her ashikabi. He decides to find that forest and bring Kusano back. Suddenly, trouble starts brewing. Kaoru tells Minato about a green girl and says that all the ashikabi are going after her. The owner of the site instructs Minato and Kaoru to go home because a government official is coming to search the place, and it's related to the green girl. While Minato decides to team up with Kaoru and his sekire and head into an overgrown botanical garden, Musubi becomes increasingly worried. She feels something might happen to Minato because he left his phone at home. She asks Maya for permission to visit Minato's construction site. Maya grants her permission, and Musubi sets out to find Minato. Meanwhile, Homura tries to protect Kusano from Yomi, who claims she's taking the green girl for her master. Yomi taunts Homura for being a failed sekire who works as a guardian. She calls on Akitsu to fight Homura. Just as they're about to start fighting, Musubi intervenes, mistaking Homura for Kugari and laughing at her. She quickly apologizes for her mistake and resumes her search for Minato. On the other hand, Kaoru explains that sekire grow wings when they come into contact with Tanashikabi's mucus. Tanashikabi can use this to claim more sekire. Minato arrives just in time to rescue Kusano from Yomi's forceful attempt to take her. Musubi shows up too, and they have a fierce battle. Musubi wins, and Yomi loses her sekire status. After taking Kusano back home, she chooses Minato as her ashikabi, and they seal a deal with a kiss. This strengthens their bond. Episode 04. The episode begins with a girl in the woods using magic to clear the forest. As she works her magic, her thoughts are consumed by Kusano's whereabouts, and she keeps thinking about her. In the next scene, a spy girl is monitoring Minato's information on her screen. She believes he's just an ordinary, unremarkable guy who has two sekire, Musubi, and Kusano. This fact piqued her interest. Later, we see Maya and Musubi providing encouragement to Minato as he prepares to leave for work. Suddenly, they come across a news report stating that the forest didn't catch fire last night and the reason remains unknown. This news shocks them both. Minato recalls that it's the same forest from which they rescued Kusano. He searches for Kusano and finds her sitting in the backyard, deep in her own thoughts. Minato notices that Kusano appears to be sad, and tears well up in his eyes. He asks her what's wrong. Minato, the ever-observant and emotionally supportive hero, he's like a walking tissue dispenser for his sekire. Kusano confides in him, explaining that she's concerned about a sekire named Shina. Shina used to take care of her in a similar way that Minato does now. Kusano reveals that Sheena possesses powers that are the complete opposite of her own. While they are at work, Minato informs everyone that Kaoru has quit. This deeply upsets him because he had wanted to seek advice from Kaoru, who was also an ashikabi. The workplace drama continues, and Minato's quest for advice takes another hit. Maybe it's time for a career change into the world of sekire management. In the following scene, Yuzune and Kusano are watching Musubi and Maya's fight. Kusano feels frightened, but Yuzune comforts her and suggests she go inside to watch TV instead. However, Kusano declines as the fight has become quite intriguing for her. In a surprising turn of events, Minato later finds Kaoru at the Azumo Inn. Maya clarifies that Kaoru was friends with her late husband. Kaoru visits primarily for the delicious food Maya cooks and her generous offers to share it with him. Kaoru inquires about Kusano and appears surprised by her presence. Kusano, feeling frightened by him, hesitates. In a somewhat intimidating manner, Kaoru asks her to come closer. However, Maya intervenes and hits him with a rock, sternly telling him to stop frightening the young girl. Minato is thankful to Kaoru for helping Kusano, and their friendship blossoms quickly. During the night, Kusano goes to the bathroom and encounters a strange woman, which terrifies her. The following day, while Maya visits her husband's grave, Musubi takes care of household chores. Unbeknownst to them, a mysterious sekire is secretly watching them. Elsewhere, Sheena and Yukari cross paths as Sheena is attacked by other sekire. Yukari comes to his rescue. Musubi explains to Minato that in the sekire battles, the one who loses gets separated from their ashikabi, while the last one standing gets to remain with their ashikabi forever as a reward. Meanwhile, the sekire who had been spying on them decides to declare war on Musubi out of jealousy over Musubi's close relationship with Minato. While Musubi is away, this mysterious sekire launches a missile at her and ambushes Minato in the bathroom. What happens next? To discover the rest of the exciting story, just leave a comment and ask for more.